Straight ahead on 12 News, a new crop of orange cones along Highway 81.
We're going from a 4-lane section of road up to a 6-lane section of road.
Then,
For this, someone else's junk is someone else's treasure.
how to find the best deal at a Brooklyn Center mega sale. But first, one dead and one arrested in a homicide in Brooklyn Center. 12 News starts right now. Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us. One man is dead and a suspect in custody after a shooting in Brooklyn Center on Tuesday afternoon.
The incident happened around 2:30 near the 6600 block of Camden Avenue North. Delane Cleveland spoke to investigators and joins us now with more. Delane?
Yeah, Mike and Alex, this is the first homicide of the year in Brooklyn Center. Police call it a tragic incident and say they're still investigating the connection between the shooter and the victim.
Nothing in the investigation right now leads us to believe that this was a random incident. Additionally, we're not looking for any other suspects at this moment, so we have no reason to believe there's a continuing danger to the public.
Police say they were called to 66th and Camden about 2:30 Tuesday afternoon on the report of a shooting. When police arrived, they spotted a car stopped on the road. They found a man inside the vehicle who had sustained a gunshot wound. Officers performed CPR, but the man died at the scene. Investigators gathered information on the suspect from several witnesses and eventually located him in a nearby residence. Police say he was taken into custody without incident.
If there was any positive out of this tragedy, it was that the police and the public were able to work together through witnesses developing suspect information. We appreciate that, and that is one of the keys that helped us make a timely arrest in this incident.
Investigators have not yet released the name of the victim or the suspect or the motive for the shooting. Meanwhile, Brooklyn Center police say the county attorney's office hasn't filed charges yet, but it's likely he'll face some level of murder charges. Mike?
All right, Delane, thank you. A Brooklyn Park minister was sentenced to 20 months in prison for stealing more than $235,000. Hennepin County Attorney's Office says 40-year-old Dedrick Willis pleaded guilty to theft by swindle and agreed to the prison sentence as well as paying $65,000 in restitution. In return, 2 other counts of theft by swindle were dropped. In 2013, prosecutors say Willis deposited 6 forged checks from 2 companies into accounts for the Truth Worship Center. A co-defendant who is accused of stealing checks from her employer has a hearing scheduled later this month. Well, take a step outside and you know it's hot out there. An excessive heat warning is in effect in the Twin Cities.
It is so hot, the Maple Grove Farmers Market has canceled the market for Thursday afternoon, and that's the first time that they've ever done that because of the heat. And the Minnesota Department of Health, FEMA, and even AAA have published warnings. With dangerously hot and humid conditions, a place like the Crystal Cove Aquatic Center will be packed. Air temperatures will reach close to 100 degrees, and tropical humidity could raise the heat index above 110 degrees. Already this week, officials have seen an increase at the pool, and they've brought in more cool treats and another lifeguard for the next few days.
And according to the Centers for Disease Control, heat kills more people than hurricanes, lightning, tornadoes, earthquakes, and floods. The Minnesota Department of Health says electric fans just won't prevent heat-related illness when temperatures are so hot. Only air conditioning will work. And there are early signs of heat exhaustion to watch out for, like dizziness, thirst, fatigue, and weakness. And that's important because untreated heat exhaustion can lead to more serious heat stroke. Well, if you're among the 30,000 drivers who use County Road 81 every day, there is some road construction to get used to.
A mile-long project started this week in Brooklyn Park, which means you may need to allow some extra time to reach your destination. We get more on this from Eric Nelson.
Orange barrels and red brake lights are now a common sight on a chunk of County Road 81.
There will be delays, obviously.
Road construction has begun on an $11.6 million project between 63rd and 73rd Avenues in Brooklyn Park. The highway is currently down to 1 lane going south.
This is to allow some widening on the southbound lanes. Within the next couple of weeks, we'll be putting both directions of traffic on that side of the road to allow us to build the northbound lanes.
Over 30,000 cars and trucks use County Road 81 each day. This is part of a 5-phase effort to improve the busy thoroughfare. Construction will be completed in the spring of 2018.
We're going from a 4-lane section of road up to a 6-lane section of road, so increasing traffic capacity by 1 lane in each direction.
Drivers using County Road 81 will notice many changes during construction.
We're adding a sound wall down by the frontage road on the south side.
And will need to adapt to road alterations.
The ramps will still be open. We'll have what we call crossovers, getting people over onto the proper side of the road. We'll be having some temporary signals up at all the current signal locations.
Road crews will also replace storm sewer infrastructure along the highway. When this project is finished, the building behind me, the old All-American Recreation, will be gone. It has a date with the wrecking ball. In its place will be a dry pond that will absorb rainwater runoff. In Brooklyn Park, I'm Eric Nelson, Channel 12 News.
And in Plymouth, there is a new overnight road closure on another big construction project. County Road 47 will be closed after midnight on Thursday morning. The closure extends from Teakwood Lane to Yucca Lane. It's part of the Interstate 494 reconstruction project. County Road 47 should reopen by 5 a.m. on Thursday.
In Robbinsdale, add this news to the list of updates about the Terrace Mall site. The city is getting more than $82,000 from the state for contamination cleanup on the 10-acre site housing the former Terrace Theater and mall. The site is contaminated with petroleum from a fuel oil tank that's under the buildings and was used for heating. The state grant covers 75% of the $110,000 cleanup, while a developer covers the rest. The site is being eyed for a new Hy-Vee grocery store. A family-owned restaurant recently opened its doors in Brooklyn Park, and it is already in the spotlight.
Gramsky's specializes in homemade sandwiches, and as Sonia Goins tells us, one of the items on the menu is so good it will be served at the new Vikings stadium.
How you doing?
Jeanette Nevels is the owner and chef of Gramsky's. She says the restaurant is a dream come true.
I love to cook.
The New Hope resident decided to turn that passion into a business. Jeanette had several mentors. She also made good use of a few minority business programs.
They gave me a lot of training. I went up to North Hennepin and took some business classes.
Jeanette's daughter and son helped her run the restaurant.
Did she want onions on them?
This really is a family business.
Oh, no onions.
Jeanette combined the letters in her grandchildren's name and added it to the word Gram to come up with the name Gramsky. Before opening up shop, she spent 10 years perfecting her specialty sandwiches.
You want a hamburger? Okay. It takes a minute because I hand make them.
All that hard work paid off. The Italian grinder will be featured at the new Viking Stadium.
I went and applied last year went down to the convention center. The Minnesota facility, I did a sample with them a long time ago.
They liked the Italian grinder and decided to offer it up to hungry fans.
It's a blessing. It's a blessing because I never imagined. So very grateful and a blessing.
Jeanette doesn't know how many sandwiches she'll have to make just yet, but that doesn't seem to bother her.
I'm okay with it. Whatever they need me to do, I'll do. But they do know that I don't want to take on a lot until I'm used to it.
Meanwhile, folks don't have to wait for the new stadium to open to try the new signature sandwiches.
I think that's absolutely amazing to have a brand new restaurant in Brooklyn Park at the U.S. Bank Stadium.
In Brooklyn Park, Sonia Goins, 12 News.
They look so good. You can almost smell them, right? Coming up, how to find exactly what you're looking for at a garage sale. We'll take a look in Money Savers.
And then a little bit later in sports, highlights from one of the hundreds of games going on at the USA Cup soccer tournament.
But first, the excessive heat warning is in effect.
If you have ever cleaned out a loved one's attic, you've probably wondered about the value of an antique.
Oh, knowing when something is valuable or when it's just plain old is hard for the untrained eye. There's a sale this week in Brooklyn Center where you can get plenty of practice finding a treasure. Shannon Slatton has that in today's Money Savers.
It's mega, yes, and it feels mega to us, especially on a hot day. I can see the sweats dripping down. The entire church is filled, everything except the sanctuary.
More than 30,000 square feet of bargains and deals await at the Brooklyn United Methodist Church's mega garage sale.
So this is the clothing area. It seems like it gets bigger every year.
Volunteers work year-round to organize donations into departments.
I always like looking at the hats. There's just every kind of hat you could imagine.
And then price the items to sell.
All kinds of people just come and browse and see what they can find.
Coming to a mega sale like this can be overwhelming, so it's good to have a plan when you come in. And if you're shopping for value, the more you know, the better off you'll be.
Someone who's knowledgeable about a certain area will come in and they'll find some very good buys because they know that what the market is for it elsewhere.
If you are shopping for value, you must look for clues like labels or signatures, like the markings on the bottom of this picture.
No, this isn't just your average houseware. This is a collectible. She looked at the bottom and she saw that it had markings on it. It's a Red Wing piece that's numbered.
If you are looking for authenticity, look for paperwork. Then look at the condition and the number of pieces in the collection. It's worth more if it's all there.
Someone's junk is someone else's treasure.
But remember, value, like beauty, is often in the eye of the beholder.
And the other thing that gets really exciting for us is to see someone come through here and say, oh my gosh, that's exactly what I wanted to buy. And it becomes a treasure for them.
In Brooklyn Center, Shannon Slatton, 12 News.
The pre-sale opens Wednesday night at 5, and the sale continues on Thursday and Friday and wraps up on Saturday. Well, coming up, how will you escape the heat? We'll hear what some of you have to say about that.
But first, we will meet an Armstrong High School track standout keeping busy this summer, competing against some of the nation's best. John Jacobson has that and much more coming up next in sports.
We start with USA Cup soccer and Maple Grove girls out there in the heat, doing all right?
Out there in the heat, they survived, everybody lived, and yeah, it's going to be this way all week, so the teams are ready for it. Warm weather greeted teams Tuesday at the beginning of play for the USA Cup Youth Soccer Tournament. Even steamier conditions were in play on Wednesday. Maplebrook Nation under-19 girls facing the TRSA Scorpions from Elk River Rogers. Good short pass here. Maple Grove's Ariana Pogmani to Emily Sullivan. Her shot, though, just high and over the Scorpions' net. Later in the first half, TRSA's number 7 Leah Johnson gets free and she scores, tying the match at 1, and that's the score at halftime. Same score in the second half. The Scorpions looking for the lead. Maplebrook goalie, though, Michaela Halford comes up with the save. But TRSA does go in front. A good crossing pass from Madison St. Germain to Maddie Jacob for the goal. And that makes it 2-1. Maplebrook ties the match late. Sullivan with a good run up the right side. She shoots and scores here. Maplebrook and TRSA tie 2-2 in this pool play round game. The tournament continues through Saturday. The District 1 Little League playoffs are whittling down teams. Golden Valley met Minnetonka Blue in an elimination game Tuesday night. Bottom of the second inning, Americo Sculati rips one down the line in right field and into the corner for a triple for Golden Valley. Then Sullivan slides in with one of 3 runs in the inning, and they're up 4-0. Golden Valley pitcher Jack Mauser getting a Tonka batter and looking for a strikeout to end the third inning as he keeps the shutout going. Up 5-0 in the fifth. Mauser comes through with a bat, blasting a solo home run to right center field. Golden Valley wins this game 6-2. Just 4 teams remain in the tournament entering Wednesday night. Robbinsdale, one of the other teams still alive. Most high school athletes don't sit idle over the summer break. 12 Sports' Jay Wilcox takes a look at some of the off-season workouts, camps, and competitions that local athletes are doing to get ready for the season ahead in a series called What I Did This Summer. Here's Jay.
On our first What I Did This Summer, we meet an Armstrong track and field star who definitely didn't slow down when the high school season ended. Michaela Baker has a lot of spring in her step. The 17-year-old Armstrong senior-to-be from Brooklyn Park competes for Track Minnesota Elite in the summer.
Well, we practice from 6 to 8:30 at least. That's when we get done at earliest. But sometimes, like if you're a multi-event athlete and you do like hurdles or jumping, you stay later sometimes. Sometimes Monday, always Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. There might be Friday if you're on a relay or something, but usually not.
Baker is a standout long and triple jumper and recently added hurdles to her repertoire too.
I think I'm best at jumping, like triple and long. I don't really know. Depends on the day, I guess. I like jumping a lot because I've been doing it so long, so I kind of have that mastered basically. Well, not really, obviously. I need more like training and stuff and technique. But hurdles, I just started this year, and I like them a lot. They're kind of scary sometimes, but I still like them a lot.
In the high school season, Baker placed second in the long jump, third in the triple, and 8th in the 100 hurdles at the state meet. And with teammates Alexandria Hurst and Ashmira Patterson, placed third as a team in Class AA. Michaela says club track definitely helped her reach those goals.
Yeah, this helps for sure in high school. Like all these people, you'll probably see them at state or whatever. They'll probably be placing because of this, like training so hard and everything. And then like this also goes on in the winter, not here, but at the Y in like South Minneapolis.
Go! There's no doubt it's a lot of work.
Yeah, I'm tired all the time, but gotta do what you gotta do.
But Baker knows a track scholarship could be in her future, and the effort will pay off. For What I Did This Summer, Jay Wilcox, 12 Sports.
The AAU Junior Olympic National Meet is set for July 31st through August 6th in the Houston suburb of Humble, Texas. So yeah, tired, but it's a good tired.
That's right. Thanks a lot, John. We'll be right back.
And finally, unless you're from some hot place like Phoenix, the string of hot days here in Minnesota may have you seeking relief.
There are many ways to keep cool. Good old-fashioned water, of course, certainly does the trick. Maple Grove Central Park and Splash Pad were filled with families embracing the heat. But there are hotter days ahead, and here's how some of you are planning to beat the heat.
So honestly, before kids, I would have been inside reading a book with something cold to drink, but now that I have kids, we just get wet as much as possible.
A lot of times too, it's okay to just have a little movie time, a little indoor, air conditioning action. And I've already got it slated that tomorrow night is pizza, so, not cooking.
I would say deal with it.
I think it's more of an embrace thing, right? And I'm excited to get out on the lakes and hit some jet skis and go out with my friends and do all that kind of stuff. So it'll be a lot of fun.
I will never complain about the heat because I complain enough about the cold. So that's my take on it.
When I think excessive, I think about the day I left Phoenix and it was 120 degrees. So I'm okay with this.
And that last woman we spoke with is a track and field athlete who is used to training out in the summer in Phoenix in 120-degree heat. So it's all relative. That's right. Just remember that.
And remember winter. I like that.
Yes, that's
comment was good.
Good tip too. That does it for us. Thanks so much for joining us.
And we will see you back here again Thursday starting at 4. And remember to stay cool if you can.